Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
Hey Soph,
Yeah?
I love you for 10,000 years.
Really?
Yeah. Also, do you like pineapples?
Not a big fan.
No, neither am I.
I don't...
Except for flavouring of them.
No, because you're weird, because you like pineapple in actual food, and that's just wrong.
Pineapple on pizza.
No, it's not a thing. It's not allowed.
So I guess it's the only time I'd really like it, oddly.
I hate it in like sweet and sours as well.
Yeah, I guess thinking about it, yeah, I guess I do kind of like them. But like, if you had like pineapple on its own, like out of a tin, like one of our characters in this does, no, sorry, or a fruit salad, no. But today we continue with our films that Paul studied in film studies.
This is a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Try to say it fast. Films that's Paul studied in No, say.
No, can't be done. And this time we're venturing into Hong Kong cinema, and we are going to be talking about Chungking Express from 1994.
I feel like I'm going to get a shot in the foot here a little bit by saying this.
Hmm.
Obviously, subtitled, everything like that.
Yep.
I don't think I've seen much of Hong Kong cinema. However, I know there is a lot of crossover between Japan and China's kind of culture a little bit. Obviously, the religion as well is a little bit of a crossover of two sides.
That's
depending
true.
on.
Yeah.
I feel like the language is somewhat similar, even though it's not exact. It still felt like that's what I was reading Japanese in my head because we're so used to that with everything we do watch.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But fun enough you should say about that because there's various different types of language that's being displayed in this film. There's Mandarin, even Cantonese, which I'm culturally ignorant on that again, but as to what the difference is there in terms of the language of that, but I guess it's like more the Hong Kong language there. But there is also a little bit of Japanese, because I did pick up on some. I'm sure I picked up on some words, even though it wasn't displayed in subtitles as such. I think it was
subconsciously you was aware.
I was
of
like,
them.
That word sounds familiar, but
yeah.
I was thinking maybe it's just something that they use in their native tongue. And obviously there's a bit of an English as normal. There was no subtitles.
That was really strange though, because I was reading and then it was like, I can understand this, and then I'm like, why have I stopped reading?
Yeah.
And I was like, at one point I'm thinking, do I actually know how to speak the language now because I've been reading the subtitles? And
also a bit of Hindi as well. Hindu.
Yes, because obviously we've got some Indian characters as well.
Yeah.
So it opens up this scene as you have Quinn. It's called Wu.
Yeah,
so we'll go with Wu.
His cop name, or is referred to as like 223.
Yeah.
Like we're just calling that number him in.
It just really confused me, this did at the beginning, and I'm like, we had to pause, and I don't think we were in that long. But the opening scene of him kind of running and being a cop, God, that made me feel sick. It was like,
yeah, so like a very stylistically blurry, high tension type of thing going for like a chase scene, like you say, but it's like all this weird like
it's clever
motion.
The way it's done. It really is with the motion, and all I could think in my head was like, how is this done? Where there must be like two, in my head, photography wise, two film layers going on, like
possibly,
or two camera projections, because one's a long exposure where somebody's running around like a lunatic,
and you get slowed down, so filmed at two speeds, basically.
It definitely is, because obviously you're getting him full impact, and then you're getting the screen at the back where it's blurred.
Yeah.
So there must be two shots overlaid in my head, because you wouldn't be able to. I don't think very well. He would be blurred at some point, and he is a bit, but he's still quite sharp.
Yeah.
In the
you
picture,
can sort of see visuals of not
unless
completely.
He's standing there very slowly.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of the way it was done, but it just made you feel like you were in one of those, when you're at the seaside The waltzers.
I hate them. Terrible motion sickness I get.
That's how I felt. I'm surprised you could deal with it though on the screen, because it was making me feel like motion sickness.
No, I didn't really get that on weirdly with that.
I hated it when it came to those scenes where they were running around like lunatics and it was going.
There's very few and far between though.
You'd have problems if you were like had an epileptic fit or something though from that. That could possibly spur
something, yeah.
They should say that before it comes on, a warning of that.
Perhaps.
Unless it's not a thing in China, but other people are watching the film. So, yeah, anyways, definitely didn't really like that.
No.
So we have this common theme of where he ends up going, like, I'm guessing it's like a takeaway place.
Yeah, like a food court.
Yeah.
Stall thing, yeah.
And he's only just recently broken up, or is on a break with his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend called May.
Yeah.
And then there's another May that was behind the counter. And he's actually this character, this policeman.
Yeah.
Seems a bit of a sleazeball in my opinion. The amount of ladies he goes through.
Or trying to. He's trying to fill a void, really. He's kind of like, doesn't want to be lonely, basically.
Well, get some friends. Like, don't just keep going after girl that's not suiting you right.
It's a bit of a deterrent for women, isn't it? If you're like desperate to like be involved in their, what's your name, like a thing, but like really intensely, like kind of falling in love with a.
That's just desperate, and no woman wants a desperate man.
No, exactly, yeah.
Also, it's not sincere, is it? How can he say he loves somebody for 1,000? I at the end of it, I thought that line was lovely, and then I'm like, that means nothing now to me. You've proven you don't love anybody. Stop counting your pineapples.
Yeah. So the thing with that is that his birthday is on May the 1st.
Oh, this was screwing me over as well. It's like, is May's birthday on May the 1st? I was like, there's so many Mays.
But May, it was apparently May, his ex's favourite food was pineapples or something. So he felt to take it upon himself to buy cans of pineapples with the expiry date of May the 1st on them. And over 30 days, and then if she didn't change her mind about being with him, then he knows that their love has expired, just like the dates on these cans, and then he proceeds to eat the cans of things like, well, that's not
cans in a night. Like,
and it's like, that's not a great idea, and expired stuff as well. I mean, to be fair,
I don't think it goes off.
Tin stuff isn't as bad as, like, say, if he was eating, like, chicken or something, like...
True, but then, to be fair, you have grown up in a household where expired food is not a thing.
Yeah.
It's like his dad tries to freeze yogurts and salad.
That was, could you believe it? Yeah. But it's true, he did. One thinking, lettuce is like, that's not gonna... It's practically made up, and cucumber... practically made up of water.
What's a cucumber? Like,
and then wonders why it comes out soggy at the end. It's
I'm like, I don't even understand how it's going to be like an ice cube.
Once it's defrosted, then it's... That's what I mean by that. It's like thinking, keep it to save
Maybe it was better to eat it as it was, like, frozen. Possibly. Might be nicer.
But, in the Parks household, it was never a really stranger to having things that were out of date anyway, so... Yeah.
Don't get it at all. It's like, I think you've encouraged some bad habits a little bit.
Still here, so,
Yes, just. So, going back to the tins of pineapple that he consumes. Yeah. He's obviously besotted with May, but is he? And as well, we never get to see May.
No.
You never know what she looks like. You don't even know. He has a couple of phone calls with her, but that's literally it.
Yeah.
This film is very much for me a mystery. There's a lot of things I don't understand why they happened.
No, I think, to be honest, the way it's done is not really meant to be like a typical, right, here's the linear storyline of how things are going. Obviously, it kind of does in a way, but there's bits where it's kind of like these jump cuts and stuff that we have going on all the time. That's just how it's like more like guerrilla style way of filmmaking, because the director, he only did it in like a space of like 20 days or so, just to get it all and also on the fly. No, not 30, not 30 days, not that. No, but he started doing it like location shooting. He kind of like almost like filming it secretly, no, without
right.
permission. So it's kind of like getting the shot, go right, get next thing.
It.
That's the
Maybe
thing.
that's why the cameras were blurred. Then they thought he'd go with it because one shot was,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like,
It's like, yeah, that'll do.
that'll be fine.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
think I'm being
So,
creative.
but in ahead of what next week's film's going to be, it's going to sort of follow that kind of style in terms of
Make me feel sick.
No.
Oh.
In the way it's kind of like filmed on like quick things and just kind of just taking it as it comes. That kind of jump cut shot way of doing about the film, the way the film's put together, really. So that's kind of a similar theme there for next time. But you can also think of it like a contemporary art style
Yeah.
that it's going for with the visuals, particularly. It's all very colourful and
it is
blurry
very colourful.
and
Very
nice.
bold colours.
Yeah.
You also have like this side story going on in the background as well, which this baffled me. I thought there was more to come to this, and I actually think sometimes when I was watching it, I wanted to delve in more on this side of the film than...
And what side is that? Sorry.
The lady who's the mystery woman.
Yeah, the blonde wig and the red glasses. No.
Yeah. I felt like she was the lead story in my head, and he was kind of like a jigsaw in her piece, and I didn't know if he was going to fall in love with her.
Well, he said he did anyway, but again, it was more like he was in a bar and it's like, oh, see the first girl, I come into the bar and I fall in love with her type of thing. And
but I mean, like, kind of he wanted to pursue her, and then it'd be like, I was thinking...
that was going to go somewhere.
She's in a drug delivery business, and he's a cop. How's this going to work? And I didn't know if it was going to be like kind of him being head over heels in love with her.
But then realising, what she really does. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
That's where I thought it was going.
Uh-huh.
And it didn't do that at all. It was just a little bit like, oh, they've kind of had a one-night stand thing.
Wasn't really, yeah. And then
she rung him happy birthday, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm confused, because obviously initially she's giving some Indians, taking the passports away from them, putting drugs in the shoes and everything, and sending them off on this like big drug delivery.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously a guy in this bar, isn't there?
Yeah.
You always have like a mafia drug
Don
lord
type
or
thing.
something.
Yeah.
And obviously the mission's gone a bit sour. So it's kind of like now he's out for her a little bit, I think. So she's not meant to come back until the mission's been completed.
Mm-hmm.
But she comes back anyways in the end, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And her story ends quite quickly.
Abruptly, yeah.
When she kills the drug lord, it's like, that's it. Then she takes a wig off. You don't really even get to see her properly without a wig either. That annoys me. I don't like mystery. I like to know what's going on. And that were it. She'd gone. Never to be seen again. And we kind of seem to be, I think, the beginning half of the movie, her story was more prominent.
Yeah.
And then it heavily just went boom. And then it were like, right, that's done now. And then went on to this weird love story thing with the cop and the lady from the takeaway.
Another cop, this is.
Now is it? This is the thing that really confuses me. I'm so sorry. I don't even realise they're two different people. No, I'm really sorry.
They are two different cops, yes.
Because I'm just thinking this guy's a sleazeball. But
No. He was a different cop.
But they're both going to the same
place.
Oh,
that's the connection, because again, like at the beginning.
I'm so confused. I was thinking of the same people, but they're both called Blue.
I don't know if... No, I think there was the other one had a different name as well. So, but anyway, this...
I wrote it down.
All right.
I just thought he looked different in his police outfit.
No, it was a different one.
It did look different.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so confusing.
No, because
what happens to the other guy?
We don't know what happens to him. The last time we see him is when he does the thing of at like 1 centimetre apart, we were this close to the thing, and he does that at the beginning with when he bumps into the lady in the blonde wig at the beginning. He makes a point of that like being a thing, and it does like the freeze frame.
Yeah. So
the connection in the stories there is that he bumps into Faye, who is this other worker who is the one with the short hair and is the female interest in this other second story.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying like, oh, this is the first, like I bumped into her and we were 1 centimetre apart from one another. And then he says, and then 6 hours later, she falls for this other man and then it cuts to the other policeman, cop 663.
The numbers did change. Why didn't I clock this?
And he was with air hostess thing near the airport.
I thought this was the same guy all the way through. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
I did. But I don't know if that's because I did write some notes, and I know that sounds daft, but writing and reading is a bit hard to do at the same time.
It is. Yeah, I admit it went subtitles, but I didn't expect you to be like, right, you could have said pause.
I did plenty of times, didn't I?
But even I was like, all right, yeah, that line is key kind of thing, and let's write that down about like the expiry date thing and stuff that keeps being brought up with that the other cop, like when he's saying about the happy birthday thing, and he was saying about he'll kind of remember that all his life, and if
he was very dramatic, wasn't he?
If memory can be canned, I hope it never expires. Or a million years if he had to put a date on it for this thing. So he's obviously smitten, but then we never really know what happens with that story arc with him. He's going to just like say, well, this Faye that I bumped into, that's all we hear of him after that, and he's never really brought up again. So he
could have been with the mystery girl all this time and we wouldn't have known, because that's a different story. Is that what you're saying?
Mystery girl? The
mystery drug girl, because she rings him, doesn't she? And that's when he's saying about the cans.
Can. Yeah.
So then that's the last time we see him. That's his last line.
No, the last line is about the 1 centimetre distance between him and Faye.
Oh, yeah.
Then it goes into the next story.
I mean more not to try and go on to the next story. His last line is in his part of the story.
Yeah, his main focus other than... Yeah.
Meaning that actually him and the mystery girl still could have been going...
Yeah, but that's...
Together, really, possibly.
Yeah, but that's not really established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But... To be fair, I thought he was a sleazeball at this point because he's like gone out. Right. So in my head, he's gone out with a girl called May. Then he was going to go out with another girl called May behind the counter.
Yeah.
Then he's met this mystery woman girl.
Yeah.
And loved her then because she just slept on the bed and he watched her sleep for the entire night.
Cleaned her shoes.
Couldn't even see her face or her eyes because she always wore them glasses. And he said the reason behind glasses for women to wear them is either you're blind, you're a pretender, or you've cried and you've fallen out of love, so you want to cover your eyes up. And then I thought he randomly just found this air hostess and started sleeping with her.
No. Completely different person.
Can't believe I didn't realise. But now you're saying it makes sense. But I don't get why it's given me half a story and not finished it. They could have just carried on with that and it would have been alright.
Where would you have wanted it to go from there then? Just more... Is she doing another jug run kind of thing, and then he realises that she is...
Well, maybe dealer. He's going after her and he captures her and then he's like, shit, this is me girlfriend that I've just got in cuffs and I don't know.
So in this, you kind of getting 2 short stories in
it'd
the
be
film.
Nice if they explained it a bit better. For me at least. So I knew that's what was happening.
This isn't traditional, so this is what I'm getting at. It's not like traditional by the book cinema. This is like a bit of contemporary...
The girl's not sat here going, what the hell is going on? And these are 2 the same people.
Yeah.
But they look different. I even thought at one point, have they changed the actor? Did he fall unwell? And
no.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right. Anyway, let's get to
This is so wasted on me, isn't it? I'm so sorry.
To the main side of this other cop story then.
Was there anything else you wanted to pick up on the pineapple guy?
The pineapple guy, yeah.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea. That's all I'm allowed to watch is something basic because then I'll get it.
No Patrick in this or Squidward.
See? Oh, I did put something about obviously the mystery woman from the hotel.
Yeah.
Goes and kills the drug lord.
Yeah.
Another thing as well I captured was he gave her like a tin of tuna or a tin of sardines or something that had an expiry date on.
Uh-huh.
So I think this must have been a common theme throughout the first part. And that's how he kind of gets himself killed, because she opens that tin and he sees that there's some kittens.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know what happened to the kittens.
They were fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because she shot him about a couple of times.
They didn't shoot the kittens though. Let's get that across. They were fine. They were probably just like, oh.
Might be really scared.
They're pretty inside into the fish and just carried on with whatever they were doing.
But where's the kittens' owners? Are there a lot of stray kittens in Hong Kong?
Don't know. We've only been to the airport, so...
Yeah, we didn't go anywhere else.
The only thing I've got to note down really is a couple of things. There's he's when he's eating the pineapples in the tins, and he's saying like, dogs are man's best friend, so why does he refuse to share the sorrow?
Because dogs are generally happy animals. Don't bathe in sorrow like humans do.
No, they're normally there to cheer you up, aren't they? If you're feeling down, they're there to comfort you, really. So.
But to be fair, dogs are brilliant in that way. They do know your emotions and they will come to you and try and cheer you up. Yeah.
Cats, sometimes.
They're stubborn though. It's on their terms, really.
Yeah. And the only thing I noted down was about the whole his cops jogging in the rain thing. His means of
not wanting to cry tears, so he sweats them out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And by the way, I think this is not a really good thing to say, or you have to go jogging to release stress. It's good for your health and exercise. But if you want to cry, that's also fine too.
Yeah, I guess.
Men
but people
can cry.
do it in their own way, and that's just
fine
one of
his
character's way.
But I just don't want it to be a thing of, I can't cry because I'm a man. Because
no, I don't think it's that. It's rather than him sitting there sobbing like a little baby, to transfer that sadness into
some positive
energy to get him moving and stuff. Really,
I'll take that then. That's all right.
Yeah. Not the saying you can't cry. Just.
So I want to open up with my line here, which says, "Now, new girl at the takeaway. Wu had a girlfriend. Make the new girlfriend jealous, and work out what she's like." To pull and then I put he's got an air hostess. So literally I thought he's gone from having May as a girlfriend, then somewhat liking the one at the takeaway but not, and then where did this random air hostess come into it? But now it's self-explanatory. It's two different stories.
Yeah. It's more that Faye is more interested in the cop than he might be a little bit.
I think he is. He's leading her on a little bit, I think.
Yeah. So we kind of have him almost going there, almost like constantly getting black coffee and stuff and getting these different food that the vendor's like, buy this and this, it's cheap, give her the option of what she'd like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. But this cop is then, again, he's kind of a bit lovelorn as well, because she kind of disappears and then he's kind of like left with her belongings in the apartment, and he's obviously distraught. He's like talking to the stuffed toys and like personifying like her clothes
and marbles.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so it's another lost case with love, I guess. Just crazy things, obviously.
Do you think as well? I don't know if it's kind of emphasised a little bit more in like Hong Kong, China, and Japan. The population of men compared to women. There is a lot more men than there is women, and trying to find actual love. Women have a pick of a candy shop a little bit.
Yeah.
And obviously they would be lucky to have any of the women kind of be interested in them. I think that's why they get so love sick.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what that's trying to show.
Yeah, as anyone can probably tell you, love isn't an easy game to find the right person. And
is it not? What about me?
It wasn't straight away though, was it? So I had to work way through.
He had to kiss some frogs.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah,
definitely did. But he ended up finding a princess, so that's all that matters, and that's, you just persevere, but don't go around kissing too many frogs, because then the nice girls won't be interested.
Life lessons from Sophie there.
You're welcome, everyone.
But our little shop worker Faye,
she's annoying. Sorry.
Is it because of the song that she keeps playing on repeat?
You mean the Beatles, yeah?
This is this joke where I don't know. Sometimes genuinely don't know if it's a joke anymore.
I don't know either.
Because you always hear this song "California Dreamin" by Mamas and Papas, and Sophie's like, "Oh, is this the Beatles?"
The first time it was genuine. It was.
I'm like, no, it's really not. It's like there's women singing this song, and it's like, how can you say that it's the Beatles?
Well, they could have just had backing ground singers, no?
I didn't have.
I'm not a big fan of the Beatles. I know that sounds shocking, but shut up, you.
Well, this is the first time I heard the song.
Well,
anyway.
and how do you feel about the song? Because I quite liked the song until I watched this movie.
Oh yeah, no, it's it's not my. There's other. I've obviously going from hearing this song, like I'm going to explore the catalogue a bit more of like the other music. There's obviously songs I prefer than this one. This is like a starting point. It's kind of like if it's the song of Mamas and Papas, it's this one that most people will know because that's sort of commercial, if you want to say put it like that. But it does.
And what's the name
Of what?
the song?
California Dreamin.
Not California Girls, no.
No. It was way before that. It was even conceived. But I'd forgotten how many times this song gets played.
I think we need to do a quick Google now because I want you to guess and I'm going to guess. And then we're going to check how many times. And you know Mark will love this because it'll be a factual thing. And so if you don't know who Mark is, well, Paul will tell you.
Well, you can tell him while I Google this information.
So it's 100 things we learnt from film. And they were a guest on our previous episode. And we've been on theirs. So definitely check them out. But they normally give you 100 facts. So factually, I want to know how many times was this California Dreaming, California Girls, Mama and Papa's, Beatles, whoever song was played, because I was sick to death of it. I feel like every time she was in the takeaway shop or restaurant or whatever you want to call it, cafe thing, it was playing. So I think about at least 15 times. By the way, you need to tell me a number before you find that number. You haven't got it on your phone, have you?
I haven't found it yet.
Okay, good. I'm going 20 now.
I'm going to say 12.
Really? That's really...
No, I don't even think that, to be honest.
I'm going back to 15 now. You're making me doubt. 17. Right.
I'm going 10.
Okay. I think I'm going to win. Oh, the anticipation. Drum roll, please.
Well, according to this
Am I right?
thing on Reddit, the 1994 Hong Kong film Chungking Express uses the song California Dreamin' by Mamas and Papas 8 times.
No way! It was more than that. You're lying. I'm going to watch this film and I'm going to have a scoreboard with me and I'm going to tally and I will tell Reddit that they're wrong.
This was 3 years ago, though. So.
Wrong. The songs do not increase like every time you watch it, by the way. You know, it's like... So it doesn't matter if it was just 3 years ago. They just can't count.
I'll go with that. I think that's probably the best we're going to find on that. But I don't understand thinking...
I can't believe you won. So annoying. Such a know-it-all, aren't you?
I wasn't a know-it-all completely because I was the closest, sure, but I wasn't... When you said 20, I'm thinking, no, it was not.
It
played
felt
that.
too many times.
So that's her favourite song.
I get it, it's a really good song, it is. But, like, I know I play songs over and over, but not just one over and over. It might be an album, at least you've got some choices.
Yeah. I mean, she could have played any other song from them as well on the disc.
That'd be fine.
But
really cheap way of getting copyright.
But again, probably because of the means of the director being like, well, can't afford to get the rights to the other songs. Let's just
play this one
over and over again. I got this one. Yes, I can use that as many times as I like. But the use of the song is really just because it's wanting to get like escapism from a job. Basically, she obviously wants to go to California to what she thinks is probably like a better life from what she's just working at a little fast food counter, really. So it's like, right, I want to see the world a bit. So that's her like, all right, I pretend I'm there kind of thing.
Oh, bless her. She's a bit of a kook, isn't she? She's a bit
almost like obsessive girlfriend, as we kind of later learn when he's supposed to have been collecting this note that the air hostess leaves for him behind the counter at the shop.
Yeah.
And everybody and the dog looks at this letter.
It's ridiculous. There's no privacy whatsoever.
Thing, and they're like, oh, that's brutal kind of thing. And she reads it also and then kind of puts on the board. But he doesn't really come to collect it for whatever reason. I guess he's scared to read what it says, and it's kind of like living in a fantasy world type of thing.
Making up that items talk to him now and that she's still there. He's kind of clinging on a little bit with it, I guess.
And so there's also a set of keys in this envelope. So Faye decides to, for whatever reason, maybe just because she's really smitten with him and wants to make his life a little better, I don't know. She goes in and starts, like, tidying up his place, cleaning up.
It's
and
a bit
around.
stalkerish,
It's
to be
a
honest.
little bit like,
like
one step away from, sniffing his pants type of thing or something.
It's ridiculous. Like, he says he's struggling to sleep, and so she puts pills in his water, and it's like she's trying to drug him. Like, I don't actually know what's going on. It's just a bit of a weird situation.
If that was not in, like, this kooky, like, dream world state that we've got going on, that the film's going for, and its vibe and everything, if that was in any other film, that would be come across as like, this is really weird, like in a typical American type film.
She'd be psycho. Literally, she'd be losing the plot.
Yeah.
She'd have mental issues, like, literally. Whereas it kind of gets played on a little bit light-hearted.
It would be more like your Adam Sandler type comedy type thing. I'd be like, some weird, like, ooh, that spilt something over, and it's like, I'm going to clean it up, and it was in a stupid way, wouldn't it, if it was more like a...
Which I like the way it's portrayed. But it's just like, why the hell are you going into his house? I just want to understand the why behind that, and I don't think you get that fully as to why she's doing what she's doing. I think she thinks she's being helpful, but it's a bit intrusive, and it gets to a point of where it hinders her work. So she's meant to be going to pay the electricity bill. That never happens, does it? Because she's too busy on a part-time job, cleaning his house, feeding his fish, replacing his fish several times.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is she buys him new flip-flops. Like, how would you not know your flip-flops have changed from orange to blue?
Because he's so busy with his cop duties that he's clearly doesn't know what he's...
You know what colour shoes you have on. And then, like, your towel, like, he had a pink holy towel and now he's got a blue one. The teddy bears, for instance, you had a big polar bear.
Now you got Garfield.
It's like, come on, seriously. Straight away, I'd know something had changed. So that the fact that this man doesn't realise that his apartment that he lives in just worries me about the mankind, really. Like, how you don't notice these things.
No, but she gets found out anyway, doesn't she, in the end? But that was inevitable, to be fair.
But still, the way that it ends, it's like, if you knew, right, I'm just going to paint this picture for you. Kooky girl at the restaurant, okay, you're lonely. She's been going into your house, sorting stuff out. Okay, she's bought you some fish. And then you realise all these things have changed, and it's her. How would you react? Like, would
that'd be great, because it's like, you've been manipulating me into, like, almost like false happiness in a way, because it's not true. You think you're doing it for my health or my happiness or whatever, but I haven't done that by myself. You kind of changed me to be that way rather than not organically. Yeah, it's more manipulative.
Would you be wanting to run off in the sunset with her then?
Oh no, not really. No,
Would it be like, you need kind of locking up, love? I don't want to see you again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not how it pans out, though, is it? Obviously, yet again, loneliness in Hong Kong, China, Japan, it is a lot, and the fact that they work so much, any bit of attention, I feel like sometimes is what we would be like, in school. It's like, oh my god, that person said hello to me, he must love me. Yeah. Like, literally, that's what it feels like it is.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of that way.
Because, to be fair, if somebody had gone into my apartment, moved my stuff around, I'd be like, you weird, you've invaded my privacy, you've lied to me for God knows how long. What else can you lie to me about? You could kill somebody and I wouldn't even know. So, bye-bye.
Yeah. But then she does end up going to California, even though there's a bit of confusion with, like, he thinks there's the bar called California. Yeah. That he goes to and shouldn't turn up.
Which is the same bar as the other cop went to with the mystery blonde. Love how I noticed that.
Yeah. It's so she claims that she was there for a little while, but then she decided to just go to California anyway. The actual California. For a year or something, and she comes back. She's now an air hostess as well.
Which is ironic.
Or just like a bit weird, like, it's like, well, your ex was an air hostess, now I've kind of taken up that mantle as well now. Thinking like, oh, well, I can be one too. Yeah. And you'll be like interested. Yeah. And then he's given this like fake boarding pass in the sense of it's just written on a napkin to use within 1 year of Hong Kong to somewhere. Like, what mystery place could it possibly be?
Yeah.
Really, it's like, well, it's pretty obvious, really, where it's meant to be
California.
used for. And she comes back a year later, and he's now bought this food stand to think again. I think he seems to be still thinking of her, and she was still thinking of him. I don't know.
Guessing so.
And then it's sort of the last closing thing is the ending of like, oh, I'll write you out a new boarding pass because this other one's like sodden and stuff from the rain that was delivered in, and it's like, oh, where would you want to go type of thing, and then it's like, yep, end. Kind of almost abruptly.
Done.
Yeah.
So you are a little bit like, okay. So it's kind of like he's just put his life on hold until she's come back for a year. He realised that she was kind of into him and now she goes away. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, oh, I'm like, it's one of those things, isn't it? Oh, now I want to be with her. And then you have to wait and love, wrong timings and etc. I'm glad that we've had this chat because it's explained quite a bit with...
And realising they was not the same person.
Sophie's confusions, yes. Does it feel like when you're watching a film with me, like you're watching it with like an old person, like a grandparent or something,
always,
like don't get what's going on? And I did watch it all. I promise, I watched it all. I didn't fall asleep.
So you didn't. No, but was it visually engaging to watch? As for a starting point before we get to the scoring and stuff. Yeah. So
pretty.
Yeah. It's very colourful and vibrant. Yeah.
Cleverly shot as well. It's got them weird trippy angles.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. The sort of like tilted camera shot. There was a couple of those.
Panning upwards, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, just staying stationary, but it's kind of like the character's walking, but he looks like he's on an angle type thing. I forget what that's really bad. Did film studies. I can't remember what these camera shots are, but
I should really know them better. To be fair, I didn't really want to take wonky pictures. I liked them straight.
Hey, yeah. Did you feel like you enjoyed it, or would you want to maybe see it again in like from a different perspective?
I'd love to watch it again. Not obviously tomorrow.
No.
But within like maybe a year or so, just to touch base on it and understand it a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe if I'm not writing notes, that might help to kind of keep up with reading what's going on.
No, of course, with these things, I don't expect you to be like taking constant notes, especially when it comes to subtitles films. If it's something you just like, you can just keep in your head and then like pause, and then those kind of things. It's like, oh, you just kind of remember that.
Some of that's tricky though, because you know me with me remembering the beat of the film.
Yeah,
you get me on it every time. I always go, oh, and this happened. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, you've missed this.
No. I mean, yeah, it's easy. It's going to be easily be done with that stuff.
But no, I really enjoyed it. Okay. I think I just didn't understand it.
Yeah, like I say, it's not for the average moviegoer thing. It's more artsy fartsy, if you want to call it like that. Maybe not like quite House in Berlin, perhaps, because you probably like you probably felt like this is more of a structure, more of an interesting cinematography going on than that did.
Definitely appealing, but the story, I feel like, I don't know, I'd have rather it not been in two. Right. I would have rather just had one for longer. Just because, for the sake of me not getting so confused with what was going on, or something to make it a bit more clear as day. Because literally that impact of them saying she fell in love, I don't think I read that bit. I just saw them clashing together. Yeah. And I was writing something down, and sometimes if I miss the subtitles, it's not not that cohesive to be self-explanatory. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's my only kind of downside to it. It makes me feel better though, because he's not as such of a sleazeball, falling in love with every woman he bloody meets.
Yeah. Okay. So, you ready to discuss?
Yeah. Am I going first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I actually preferred this to the local hero.
Okay.
I don't know if that puts me in higher credit for you. I'm not sure. Obviously,
in a sense, because that is more like an easier to understand storyline and everything, and it's more structurally typical Hollywood, I guess, if you want to call it that way. Whereas this is something bit out there.
I think that's why I enjoyed it a little
Yeah.
bit more, because it was something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
It was unique, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the camera angles, and the style worked quite well. Visually, it's quite pleasing. The only thing is, in Hong Kong, I feel like there's a lot of people called May, and then it confused me with the May date as well, and it was like, there's just, you saying May too many times, and then in the other section, you were playing Mamas and Papas too many times.
Yeah.
And I think actually I just got a little bit confused with everything. I think I did. So definitely need to rewatch it for me to understand it at its full core.
Would be interested to check out the other films that the director's done. There is like a big like Criterion Wong Kar-wai collection, but it's a bit pricey. I'm hoping at some point it'll come down a little bit, because that's got Chungking Express in like a... I mean, this is like just a normal Blu-ray I've had for a while now, but that's a much higher, not like true 4K, but I think it's like a slightly upscaled and sharper quality and stuff, so that'd be interesting to see at some point again, so down the line.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But sorry, to your scoring?
I can't give it any higher than an 8.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm quite...
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I can score it higher, just for the fact that I got confused, and I was a little bit like, what is going on? And I think it's just, obviously, it's one of those things where you need to immerse yourself completely. Like, looking at your phone through this film.
Oh, no, you cannot.
You cannot.
Yeah. No.
Even me writing some notes and looking down to see what I'm writing, then you will miss something vital, which obviously I did. It's one of those where you do... It'd be brilliant to watch in a cinema, where you should not be
definitely
on your phone.
Yeah, when you're totally
distracted.
Immersed.
Yeah, you need to be immersed in it. And I think it's brilliant, a bit confusing, but if you give it your all, you'll benefit from it.
And you don't get sick of Mamas and Papas then. Yeah. I thought that would probably be like, oh, well, let's note down for that one.
No, but I do think it could be one of those drinking games where you're like, oh, Mama and Papa's is on.
Yeah, you're very good.
Yeah.
But as we've learned, it's only 8 times, so yeah.
I do feel like it's longer than that. I would actually genuinely watch it with you again.
Just to count.
How many there is. Okay. And then be like, right, okay, there is actually.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Anyways, over to you. What's your scoring?
Yeah. I am also going to give it an 8.
Woo! Teamwork. We didn't plan this.
No, I wasn't entirely sure what you were going to mark it down. I was thinking maybe a 7, to be honest. I don't think it was going to be a 6, depending on how you were going to feel about certain aspects with it, like, oh, this is too confusing type of thing, or something like that, or like...
Well, it did have a bit of a love story, didn't it? Even though it was literally, I'd never want you to love me that bad.
No.
And
No.
Because I think I'd get sick of you.
No. But for mine reasoning, it's kind of like what you've said, what I've already said anyway, about the visualization that you've got going on with it, what we have with the camera movement, the camera work.
But it doesn't seem shoddy either.
Oh, no.
So let's just kind of think it's not like a Paranormal Activity kind of, crappy handheld thing. It still looks professional the way it's shot.
Yes.
Even though it's on the fly.
I can admire, like, the way he's put it together as well. It's capturing the essence of life as it is, kind of like, slice of life kind of thing, and this is just how these interactions happen in almost on like a normal basis, because some people don't even know they're sort of being filmed in a way, kind of thing. But obviously,
to be fair, you should be allowed to do that. Anyways, like, if they're on the street, you don't really have a right to be like, you can't film me.
Normally, it should be called for something like hiring extras, isn't it? To be on the set and just to walk past in the background and they get a little bit of thing. But this is kind of like...
Because it's a public place. Unless you're indoors somewhere, then you should be kind of... That was always the rule of thumb for me.
Yeah. And I know it's not inherently Japanese or anything, but I guess that side of things has grown on me a lot more over the years, obviously.
I agree.
So that's kind of like embrace that a little bit more, the cultural things, even though it's not inherently like, oh, well, that's a thing from Hong Kong or that kind of thing. But
they are quite closely together with religion and stuff like that. So it is kind of traits in the way that they do is intertwined and interlinked, because they're not far from one another, are they?
Sort of imagine it being set in like a Tokyo, what we've kind of seen when we've been there.
I do prefer Japan though. I'm sorry, I'm very biased.
But yeah. No, I'm really glad you enjoyed this one.
I really did. I'm a bit scared because I know the other two are subtitles as well. And I think this one helped me because it was a bit similar to Japanese. All I'm thinking of is what was her name? Amelie.
Yeah, there was, because I said to you, no, this kind of reminded me of the fact that when she's going into the apartment, cleaning
Yeah.
so it's like the opposite of what she was doing to that guy who's like being mean to the guy at the stall. So she was like messing up things to
Screw with
him, really. So like the alternative.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Right.
I know I struggled with the subtitles on that one because it was French and it was very, very fast paced.
Yeah, this next one, I'm kind of glad we've decided to do it this way because, like I say, the similarities with the whole hard cuts style of things that is going to follow suit with the next film that we're going to be talking about, which I may as well say now is a French film, and it's called Breathless.
I'm already it's French. Not saying there's anything wrong with French people and stuff like that, but it's just the fact that I found it really hard to keep up.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm going to be even more confused.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping that you, because again, because you were your second time around seeing a French film now, you might.
They just talk a lot faster.
But you might see some similarities in the way that it's shot and stuff. That's what I'm getting at. But whether if you'd have perhaps seen Breathless before this one, you might be a bit put off, or like, I'm a bit worried about it now. Whereas I'm kind of like thinking, hopefully, you might like.
It might help me.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. We'll have to see next time.
Yeah, so definitely stay tuned for that one.
So thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode. And, of course, you can find all our other episodes wherever you might get your podcasts from, that being Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean.
And if you could be so kind to leave us a lovely comment on there, it really does help us to get our podcast further up on the platforms. Also, we really, really, really appreciate all your lovely messages. It definitely makes us happy. It's nice that people think that we're a good couple. I don't know why they think that, but they think that, so thank you. Please leave us a comment. That's where I was going from that. It really appreciated. We also have a Buy Me a Coffee page.
We do.
At the moment, buy me a peach iced tea.
Yeah, it's one of Sophie's favourites at the moment.
Oh, it's delicious, especially at the moment because it's summer. It's lovely.
Yeah, very refreshing.
So
and buy me an iced coffee. Iced coffee, that is. Yeah.
So if you would be so kind to want to leave us anything, a contribution or a comment, we would really, really love that. Oh
yeah, just downloading our episodes is enough for us if you can't afford to do that. But I understand we're on tough times, but or just leave us a nice little note on Instagram or Twitter saying you really enjoyed the episodes. Also, as well, we really like any communication. So if you do want to talk to us or message us, Paul is brilliant at that and allowing me to get onto our Instagram and Twitter. And the handles are SP_film viewers.
So that's obviously on Twitter too. So Paul's been really, really active on there as well, trying to get his platform further afield. Yeah.
I don't know if I should say this now, but that is all one word, by the way. I don't know if people get confused with, like, think it's film viewers, which film viewers is all one word, but I think they probably should know that by now anyway.
I hope so, yeah. I'm pretty sure if somebody couldn't find us, they would let us know.
Yeah, it's that across the platforms now, it's probably hard not to find us on there now. So, and also, just a very last quick reminder, we are up for the British Podcast Awards, one of the categories, which I'm quite happy about that we're involved in that again. I think we were last year, but unsurprisingly, we're kind of like up for that as well. So if you go to the British Podcast Listeners' Choice page and just search in there to vote for us, just put your name and email address and all that. If you have not done so already, that'd be very much appreciated because, we'd like to be part of the whole community of this and keep going, and developing. So
yeah, definitely. I'm even surprised that we get nominated because all I do is literally chew your ear off about a film that I don't even understand, and it seems to somehow work. Yeah. So I'm grateful for anybody who listens or subscribes or just enjoys any part of this podcast. So thank you so much for all your support.
And we will speak to you next time for films that Paul studied in film studies.
Again, Films that Paul studied in film studies. Films that Paul studied in film studies. Am I doing it fast enough? It's like
No.
red lorry, red. Oh, Jesus.
Bye.
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 Bye.